going to continue with the SAGA Terrain, and today we're going to do some steep hills. Welcome back to I'm Bad at Gaming. I'm Ola, and today I'm going to show you how I built these hills. Let's get to it. So here I measure out a 30 by 30 centimeter square piece. This so I can get a large terrain area. And then I'll sketch out the outline so I get some sort of feel for how the piece will end up. Then I'll just cut around and tear off the excess here. And I use the same material as I usually do, and when I tear that I get a beveled edge. So here I'll measure out a piece on an XPS foam, and then I'll cut it on my peroxon. And then I'll go over the piece again and cut it to size, so I get a more accurate fit. Just an approximate size. And then I'll do some outlines for the other piece on top. That one I also cut out on the peroxon, but I'll cut about 2 to 3 centimeters inside the line, so I get a smaller piece like this. And then I just take a normal steak knife and I'll cut into the foam and then just tear off the piece. By doing this I get a rough surface, more like a rock surface, and when you later paint that it looks really good. So I'll do the same for the smaller piece, and I'll cut off some more pieces. And to make sure that I can fit figures on there, I'll try out all the levels with a normal figure. And then I'll hot glue those pieces together on the base plate. And then I'll come in with the steak knife again, just to even it off a bit. And to strengthen the sides and of the XPS foam, I'll use the Mod Podge mix with black paint and Mod Podge. I'll just go over the whole piece, let that dry, and as you can see it turns out a bit darker, almost black. So when that has dried fully, I'll mix up some homemade sculptamold. And then I'll just put that down on the flat areas. This to make the ground a bit more interesting. I'll go over all the flat areas with the sculptamold. So I get the real nice texture. So this I do without smoothing it out, so I get a real nice texture. And when that has set, I'll pour down some PVA glue and just use a brush to even it out. And here I got a bit carried away, so I stopped and I'll put down some grit. This is to get the larger rocks get stuck down, so you pour on the sand afterwards. And then just pour on the sand, and I'll do this segment by segment from the bottom up to the top. And then just tap off the excess sand here. And then to get this real stuck down and to base it as well, I'll use PVA glue and brown paint to mix it up and just paint that on. This get both the sand and the larger rock a bit more stuck down and based as well. Then I'll use grey paint just to go over the rock part, both on the sides where I used the steak knife to make an uneven surface, and also the small rocks for the grit. And then when that has dried fully, I'll use a little spray bottle I got from the dollar store and just spray on the homemade wash and douse it real good with that. And then I'll let that dry completely, and then I'll use a cheap makeup brush also from the dollar store and do a dry brush on the sides. So I'll get this nice greyish rock surface. And when that is done, I'll use some more PVA to get the flock stuck down. So I'll just brush it out. And then I'll use both dark earth and a dark green, and then the weed mix. I'll just pour that on. And to get this side on the base plate real covered, I'll do this separately, and I'll just pour on some more PVA, brush it out, and be sure to brush it on the side and then cover it up with flock, and be very careful there. And to seal the flock down, I'll use watered down flow aid to just spray all over the piece, and then I use watered down PVA. So as you can see, it spreads really nice when you use the flow aid. When that has set real good, I'll use PVA to get these brushes stuck down. And then I'll just soak them with the watered down PVA as well. You can really use a lot to get them soaked down. And here is the finished result. I hope you like it. If you do, please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Bye!